Did I seriously just see She-Hulk twerk? Oh, what the absolute... Greetings and welcome once again to Roman of the Empire. I am your host, Roman. This week, we are going to be discussing She-Hulk Episode 3. I didn't even bother to learn the title of this one because, damn. There are many problems with this show. Many sins. The most unforgivable. We take away the superhero stuff. We take away the feminist agenda stuff. What we're left with at the end of a day is a poorly written legal comedy. And it's just not good. This is going to be a short one. There's just not a lot to go into here. So we're going to dive into it. There are two storylines in this episode. If you'll recall at the end of last week's Abomination, that was pretty funny. It wasn't great. She-Hulk, Jen Walters, was tasked by her firm to oversee the parole of Emil Blonsky, Abomination. And she's like, okay, because he explains how he's found redemption. He's got his 7 soulmates and a whole bunch of other things. And, okay. And you know, the government made him the bad guy. Anyway, so she's like, all right, slam dunk, got this. And then she gets home and sees on the news that Blonsky had been in a fight as Abomination outside of his prison cell. And this was again from the 10 Rings where he was fighting Wong. So she goes back to the prison, kind of in a huff, talks to Blonsky about it. And he's like, it wasn't my fault. I was taken from my cell by the Sorcerer Supreme, Wong. But I returned to the cell of my own accord. Surely that reinforces, he is reformed. So now they are hunting for Wong. And we get more of Jen's delightful assistant, Nikki, who I hate beyond all measure. Okay, that's the first storyline that we're working. The second is Jen's firm is taking a case from her former colleague, loosely used at the DA's office, Dennis Blutowski. He has a suit against an elf who was shape-changing and pretending to be some musician whom I've never heard of, and that's who he thought he was in a relationship with. He spent $175,000. Basically, fraud is the suit, and they make him as unlikable as possible. Got it, still. And so you have these two storylines. It's just so not good. So the whole case is going with Abomination. And again, it's nice to see Tim Roth, but he's been deballed and he's no longer the Abomination. He's no longer, big scary monster. He's just some dude. Wong Wong responds to Jen. He shows up and is like, yeah, I took him. I needed him for training, which I think is kind of a bullshit thing too, but that's fine. And he did decide he wanted to return on his own. And then Wong says a lot of funny things and then goes back to Nepal, agreeing to come and testify on behalf of Blonsky at the parole hearing. And we get a fourth wall break from Jen on the way home from this, saying this isn't the kind of show that's going to have a cameo every week, except for Bruce and Blonsky and Wong. But just remember whose show it is. It was marvelous. We have the parole hearing going on. There's a lot of media coverage that Jan's getting that she's not really thrilled with. Well, you are a She-Hulk and you're out there. So we're at the parole hearing, and I'm rushing through these events because there's just a lot that doesn't matter. The board knows that Blonsky got out. They're like, dude, you broke out of jail. A lot of people testify on Blonsky's behalf, and it's supposed to be mildly amusing how he reformed the library, so it's not just a quiet place to shoot people anymore. One of the prison guards is weeping that he helped him out with his bad marriage, and just a series of other things like that. With Blonsky's 7 soulmates behind some glass so you can see them. The kind of strange parade of ladies who are pen pals with people in prison. Blonsky has his plot of land. He wants to have a meditation center there when he gets out. Wong ends up showing up, and yes, I did this. They try to tell Wong that he committed a crime as well, and Wong, of course, opens the teleporter. He teleports himself back to Nepal. On the flip side of this, we have the other case with Dennis Butowski, Jan's former colleague at the DA's office. The elf is impersonating random people. It's supposed to be funny. It's not. Ultimately, he wins the case, with Jen Walters testifying for him, basically that he's a narcissistic, horrible man. And that's that he would believe he was dating this musician who I've never heard of, not realizing, in fact, it was a shape-shifting elf. The episode concludes with 4 dudes trying to attack Jen so they can get her blood because they want to become Hulks, is what you figure out what they're trying to do, which is poorly executed. And we get the worst possible post-credit scene I've ever seen. It's the musician who I've never heard of, and Jen in She-Hulk form twerking in her office. It was just absolutely horrible. I don't really have anything else to say. That's it. And, you know, as short as the episodes are, this one felt a lot longer. A lot longer. Anyway, this has been Roman of the Empire, signing off. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends. There's a weird guy who makes these videos about shows that he sometimes likes, and sometimes it's She-Hulk. Farewell. Be kind.